Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestlemania 36, Part 1 for Night 1. Well, I should say, Wrestlemania 36 Night 1 review. I'm going to go on record and say that The Undertaker and AJ Styles Boneyard match was actually rather entertaining, slightly different, and, kind of a good experiment that they tried out just to see how things would work out. And I think it was somewhat successful. It was a little bit, awkward and different. But based on the fact of Undertaker's age, based on the fact that they made it a buried alive match, and this is a match that couldn't take place at the PC or another location, I think they did a very good job of what they had to work with. So I give them a lot of kudos for this, for even trying to attempt this. I think it was somewhat successful. I like the overall presentation of The Undertaker as just the biker Undertaker with signs of the Undertaker from the Dead Man, mixing them into one character. I think that was pretty neat. Something they should do, just to make the character still seem like supernatural, but at the same time normal at the same as well. So I honestly think that they did a great job with that. What I didn't like, Braun Strowman and Goldberg, of course, was a complete letdown. Not that I was expecting much from it, but I actually think Roman Reigns would have put Goldberg over a lot better than what Braun Strowman did. These two guys did not work well together. Just doing spears, doing power slam moves to Goldberg several times, and then finally the official running power slam that normally Braun Strowman performs. But other than that, there was nothing else done. So Braun Strowman won that match. Undertaker won his match in the main event against AJ Styles. Thank God this was the main event. It was well worth being the main event than anything else on this card. Let's go through the other matches. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team titles. This is the match that opened the main card of the show. I personally am glad they did that. I think this match deserved it. Number one. Number two, I don't even think it deserved to be on the card. But with it being the case, at least it was placed in the right part of the event. And Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the match and win the tag team titles in 15 minutes in a very horrible fashion. Did not care for that match. Elias versus King Corbin. Elias wins this match. Did not give a flying fuck whatsoever to this at all. Honestly, did not like it one single bit. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. I will go ahead and say this. Becky Lynch winning this match against Shayna Baszler, I'm not upset with 100%, not yet. But I will be there when they get to the point where Shayna Baszler never wins the title. You put her in a situation where she ended up losing the same way she lost to Kairi Sane before in two different occasions. One in the Mae Young Classic that they competed in over the finals, and then another one where she was competing over the NXT Championship. So, again, like I said, this is only a bump in the road. If they move forward with her winning the championship, I'm okay with this. Honestly, I feel that this match belongs in a submission match. The winner wins by submission, and that is it. I think that's how this match should go. And if Becky Lynch faces Shayna Baszler and beats her with Shayna Baszler tapping out, I will be done. WWE will no longer be in my mindset ever again. I'm already at the point with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. I didn't mention this, but I'm not going to cancel my subscription if Charlotte Flair wins against Rhea Ripley. But if you bring up Shayna Baszler, who's one of my favorite female wrestlers in WWE right now, outside of maybe Ronda Rousey, who's actually good, but I'll take Shayna Baszler because she feels more legit. She built up her name through what she's done on NXT. If you follow NXT, you would understand this. And Shayna Baszler is what WWE needs as a replacement for Ronda Rousey. And the way she lost wasn't bad. It was just a weak loss for her. It doesn't, in my mind, take her out of title contention because honestly, out of all the women that are in the women's division on Raw, do we really think anyone else is worthy enough to face Becky Lynch right now? No. If anyone can come up with someone else, please let me know. You want to talk about Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair has done enough with Becky Lynch to kill a horse. From 2018 to early part of 2019, those two women were down each other's fucking throats. Enough. On to something different, and Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler are the only thing different right now on Raw. They need to continue with that, with it being a submission match for the Raw Women's Championship, and that is it. Because she didn't really win in a dominant fashion. She didn't really, in my mind, I don't know how Becky Lynch could look at this match as a victory other than her being able to escape from losing her title. She might as well should have gotten disqualified. But again, she did win the match nonetheless. But quite frankly, do we really see this as a way of closure to a matchup like these two women are, this rivalry they're building up? No. The best closure to get is a submission match. And where Shayna Baszler wins, of course. Which I hope they go that route. If they don't, well then I give up. Because honestly, I really have come to the conclusion that this company is a dead end for all wrestling fans. You're not going to get what you're looking for. You're not going to get legit built up stars, and that's why they keep using older stars like people like Edge, Randy Orton. Not that I'm saying anything's bad about those two, because honestly, they're the only thing that has seemed remotely anything WrestleMania build worthy. So I don't know. I really don't, but I don't see that Becky Lynch should be walking away from this matchup with Shayna Baszler like that. If they're doing it that way, then I don't have no business watching WWE or NXT for that matter. I should just cancel my subscription to WWE Network. Which will save me $9 anyway. Or $10 I should be. To round it off. But quite frankly, guys, I don't see this as an end to their rivalry. It can't be. If it is the biggest waste of everyone's fucking time. And Shayna Baszler being moved up to the main roster was the biggest mistake of any person they brought up. Straight up. Next match was the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn defending it against Daniel Bryan and defeating Daniel Bryan, which I was actually looking forward to, and then, yeah, nothing happened. So, yep, that was a load of nothing. Sami Zayn wins that match, and it was crap. So I didn't really care for that match. That match was garbage. Now, the dark horse of this show was actually John Morrison, Jimmy Uso, and Kofi Kingston in a triple threat ladder match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. This match was really good. I mean, just for three guys competing over a championship, even though they should have had the rest of the tag teams, but Miz got sick, so they had to go with what they had. And I thought it was pretty damn good. Except for the ending. I thought the ending was a little weak. But I will go to say that this probably was the best match on the entire card. Except for one other match that does rival it. And that is Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in a no DQ match, which actually was originally a regular match, but later on Seth Rollins was disqualified. Kevin Owens announced that he wants to have a rematch, being that this match is a no DQ. So they have the no DQ match, and he ends up having a spot that if he had in front of a large audience, the crowd would have exploded, and he would have had the WrestleMania moment he could ever ask for. If he never won a world championship at WrestleMania, this would have been the moment he could have been proud of. But unfortunately, with things being the way they are, he did not have an audience. He climbed to the top of this WrestleMania logo sign that was over the announce table, leaped off of it, and elbow dropped Seth Rollins right in the chest. Seth Rollins was screaming to the top of his lungs in pain. I don't know if he was literally going ahead and was in really bad shape, or he was just selling the move just to make the move seem more like it hurt him bad. So, they get in the middle of the ring. You can hear Seth Rollins saying, "It doesn't have to end this way. Please stop this match. You know, we don't have to end on," like something of like, we don't have to end on a bad note type of way he was putting it. And of course, Kevin Owens didn't buy into anything he was saying at all. He gave him a stunner, pinned him 1, 2, 3. That was the match. Kevin Owens wins. And that was pretty much that match in a nutshell. Was I highly entertained by it? Absolutely. This match was great. It felt like a WrestleMania match, even though the build up to it didn't really make much sense why they were going up against each other. But the feel of the match itself was like WrestleMania. It did feel like a WrestleMania match. I will give them credit for that. But the build going into it really made no sense. So, I mean, the best thing that they could have done is never had these two interact with each other until the virus. When the virus came around, they had to work in the PC arena. That's when things started seeming a little bit more reasonable to why this was coming together. It had a lot to do with the beginning stages of their career, coming from Ring of Honor, both of them, and both coming into the WWE, developing their talent and building their name within the company. So, when you take that aspect and apply it to the storyline between these two guys, that is where it makes sense. But before all this happened, what led to this in December of 2019 really did not make a whole lot of sense. It didn't really explain, or it didn't gel together for the audience to really look at it as a legitimate reason to invest their time in. And I honestly saw that throughout this build until the last week or two before WrestleMania. And without the PC, it really didn't make a lot of sense for these two guys to even go up against each other, because their storyline was just based on a bunch of rambling bullshit. There was no sense behind it. I didn't get it. I didn't get why Kevin Owens needed to rival against Seth Rollins in any way, shape, or form. I mean, outside of giving Kevin Owens something to do. Now, Samoa Joe is a different story. Samoa Joe was being attacked by Akam and Razor because Samoa Joe is standing up for himself, and Seth Rollins did not like that. He wanted him to move out of the way. I forgot what was the reason. Not that it really matters at this point, because Samoa Joe was not even in this build-up in the later stages of this rivalry between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins himself. So, it really didn't make a whole lot of sense, except for Samoa Joe being the guy that should have been competing against Seth Rollins the whole entire time. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, I think he got injured or suspended for a drug policy situation, testing policy, and he was not able to continue on with that storyline. So that's pretty much what I think happened there. But Kevin Owens originally, no. Until the last couple of weeks when they performed in the PC arena, that's when everything seemed to make more sense for these two guys to compete. It's to see who is the better Indies wrestler. What made the PC? Was it really because of Seth Rollins? Or was it because of the independent wrestling scene that made the fucking PC? And Kevin Owens was one of those average Joe type wrestlers that was looked at by WWE through Triple H, of course, because apparently Vince McMahon wouldn't know diggly shit about Kevin Owens. I sure as hell knew who Kevin Owens is before Kevin Owens became Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor, if you're not familiar about his past wrestling history before he came to WWE. And if you're not, go check it out. You'll be very intrigued by it. You may be interested in taking the time to subscribe to Ring of Honor, the Honor Club, for $9.99 and see some of his matches that he did in Ring of Honor. Because quite frankly, he did some pretty damn cool shit. But, moving on to the last two matches, as I already mentioned, Braun Strowman defeats Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Very disappointing match. Probably the worst match of all of them. I mean, fucking Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors was better than this piece of shit match. And that's saying a lot. Saying a lot that this match was fucking garbage. And then Undertaker defeating AJ Styles in a Boneyard match as the main event for night one. Now, as I said before earlier in the video, the Boneyard match I think was a very unique, different type of style to go with. Especially with it not being with a ring or anything like that. I did like the aspect that they tied some of the old school Undertaker, Deadman Undertaker, with the American Badass character. Like I've been saying before, I think that that's something they should have done a long time ago. So, with Undertaker's age and so forth, I think that this was the best choice for them to go with anyway. If anything, if this was being done in front of a live audience, this might have been the best thing for The Undertaker's well-being to go this route, because when they're recording a matchup, they can actually go ahead, stop, give Undertaker a break to get a breather, even AJ Styles for that matter. AJ Styles isn't no young pup. So, I mean, him going ahead and being able to have these two guys take some moments to take a break, let them relax a little bit, and then perform again in front of camera to produce more of this action, I think was the best thing they could do. I did like the one spot. Undertaker takes the back of his hand and tries to hit AJ Styles in the head, and he accidentally hits the glass of the hearse. And he starts bleeding from his arm. He looks at his arm and says, "Son of a bitch!" I thought that was funny as hell, what the Undertaker said. I thought that was great. I like that they were doing... This felt a lot like an Attitude Era type of matchup. This is something I can imagine them actually producing for the Attitude Era back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Though I would imagine it would have been an arena full of people instead of a pre-recorded type of match. But the way they put it across, it seemed very it seemed like TV 14 type shit. It didn't seem like TV PG. So I give them a lot of credit going a little bit risque on this. And putting a little bit more adult-like content towards this match. So I do have a lot of respect for them in that aspect. Now, I will admit that the video was very cheesy. Maybe a little too long as well. But it did deliver on a lot of different aspects, and I think it's something that they could look into possibly using in the future for guys like The Undertaker who are older and don't move around as well as they used to. So this is a great opportunity to take advantage of something like that. I think that Bray Wyatt's match with John Cena is probably going to be successful as well, based on the fact that this match, in my mind at least, went over well. I don't know how everyone else felt about it, but if you want to leave a comment down below on that one and let me know what you guys thought of that match itself, please let me know. I'm very interested in hearing what others have in mind of their opinions on this matchup, because it was definitely different than a lot of the other matches we're normally used to seeing. So, I mean, please throw a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of that match, as well as any other comment about the event itself for the night one. And hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Before I go, though, I do want to mention I apologize for not uploading a preview predictions video for... actually, no, I did. Never mind. What am I talking about? I talked about that in the random wrestling talk. So I apologize about that. I'm mixing things up here. But I did mention I was going to talk about NXT episode, which I did not. There's nothing to review on it. It is pretty much a dead show right now, based on the fact that they don't have the same ring announcers, and they don't have an audience on top of it, which makes it even worse. So I just didn't feel like there was a need to review it, and the announcers don't do it any justice for these shows either. So that's just the way I feel about that. But anyway, guys, I thank you very much for watching. Again, leave any comments, opinions down below. I'll get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you're not, if you like the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.